Welcome everyone. It is now 5:30. Welcome to the York City Council meeting tonight. The Opens Meeting Act is posted on the east wall of the council chambers, and notice of the meeting has been published in the York News Times on October 30th, 2025. If you'd please join me in rising to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amanda, roll call when you're ready.
North. Shepherd. Postier.
Here.
Wilkinson.
Here.
Van Esch.
Here.
Piper.
Here.
McGregor.
Here.
Northrop.
Next up, we have the minutes of the October 16th, 2025 meeting. Is there any comments or questions on those?
Move for approval. Second.
Amanda?
Shepherd. Yes. Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
McGregor.
Yes.
And we have some claims of elected officials.
We do have three claims of elected officials. First is Tony North of North Printing and Office Supply, in the amount of $1,694.52. I move for approval.
Second.
Amanda?
Shepherd. Yes. Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
McGregor.
Yes.
Second is claim from Jeff Piper of Piper's Inc. in the amount of $193.72. And I move for approval.
Second.
Amanda?
Shepherd. Yes. Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Abstain?
McGregor.
Yes.
Third is from Stephen Postier as a business affiliation with York County Development Corporation in the amount of $9,061.75. I move for approval.
Second.
Amanda?
Shepherd. Yes. Postier.
Abstain.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
McGregor.
Yes.
And the claims for the period.
Finance Committee did meet yesterday to review those claims, and so I move for approval for the claims period, the claims period from October 17th, 2025 through November 6th, 2025.
Second.
Amanda?
Shepherd. Yes. Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
McGregor.
Yes.
Up next is the City Administrator Report. Dr. Crawford.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Council. I want to start with a recognition of two of our longtime loyal staff members. Today, Alan Snyder has been working for the city 46 years, and Cindy Pettigrew for 30 years. So you see in your newsletters, we put people who are at increments of 5 on there, so you wouldn't have seen Alan. I wanted to make sure you knew of that. That led. Denise and I were talking today about retention, and no full-time person has left yet in 2025. We do know we have a library director retiring, right? So we'll have one, but that's for a good reason. And we've only hired one full-time person in 2025, and that was a promotion, basically. We created a new position, and then we had a part-time person move into that full-time position. So very stable in terms of full-time employment, which I thought was great news. Other great news, our treasurer, Kelly Thomas, received our official notice of our ARPA closeout, that we have spent our money all appropriately, correctly, excellent, close that book. So thanks for all of your work in helping to make sure that we were spending that appropriately and well. And the second good news from the treasurer's office is that she has worked with an arbitrage consultant, and what they do is they work with us to determine whether we need to pay any taxes on earnings on our bonds. So we have a bond sitting there and earning, and then you do have an obligation if it starts earning money and it becomes income. So we did not have any tax obligation, and part of that work was saving us what otherwise would have been $23,000 of tax obligation. So one piece is the good news of the savings, doing that process, and her work with a vendor to do that process well. The other thing that the consultant said was that he was very impressed with how we have been spending our bonds. So the whole arbitrage situation is there in case the city is just holding on to that bond money, right? And so he said that that you have been very productive and effective in spending that bond money on the things that it's supposed to be spent on in a reasonable manner and turning it around like it should be. So that was good news to you. Kudos to you.
Is that in lieu of, they would have charged us if we wouldn't have been spending that correctly?
Right, correct.
So that is, okay, yeah. So-
Right.
Cool.
So that demonstrates we were spending it enough correctly so that it is demonstrating we're not just sitting on it to earn interest on it. And also good, I mean, our local banks have been very good about purchasing bonds. And so I also want them all to know how much we appreciate that and that we are working very hard to make sure that that money goes directly into those local projects. That's my report.
Thank you. Next up, we need to consider approval of a quote from Cornhusker Industries for furniture for the fire department in the amount of $32,622. Chief.
So this is for, obviously, for the new fire station. We did go get another quote from another vendor, and this was significantly cheaper. And also, we're encouraged by state law to use Cornhusker Industries. So are there any questions, concerns?
I believe so.
Charlie, since that is a state law, do I need to be on the record? No, okay. Thank you.
I move for approval.
Second.
Amanda.
Shepherd. Yes. Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
McGregor.
Yes.
And next up, we have Chief to consider approval of a state contract quote through Anderson Auto Group for a 2026 Ford F-250 pickup for the fire department in the amount of $53,806.
Yes, this was approved through the budget process. Obviously, state bid is very competitive, and this is part of our project for the new station also to provide some snow removal and then a new chase vehicle for medical calls.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Amanda.
Shepherd. Yes. Postier. Yes. Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
McGregor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Sure.
Next up, we need to consider approval of a 60-month subscription with Laserfish Cloud license for storing records digitally in the amount of $26,940 with the annual payment of $5,388.
So the annual fee on this service is much lower than the amount we would bring to you, but it was actually a multi-year contract, so we thought we would be transparent, very transparent, and bring it to you for your review. And the service itself is digital storage, but beyond that, it has many capabilities to organize files and organize processes in the city. And the service is charged by population size. So our under 10,000 population gets us a great price. Thanks for that, Amanda.
I don't know. I think it'll be a good flow between department heads and access to records that they physically have to come here and get at this point in time. So hopefully that's long-term and retention and different things like that. So
Does it replace the other backup, like this, like the microfiche backup or something like that we were spending
So
on?
it does not replace
It does not
that. What we have, carbonite backup every single day. So that is what we have as cyber resilience. And that is just making a copy every day, and that's it. So this is a system that provides structural organization.
An integration, right?
And, yeah, and also something we would access and you'll be able to access, people will be able to access it from multiple buildings. I mean, we've talked about Public Works, for example. James is in multiple different buildings, and this is a secure way of access, but it's more than access. It's, you know, it also includes metadata and some other flow, document flow kinds of structure in it.
Is there not like a current internal internet or network that is shared that's accessible by multiple locations? So this basically is creating a internal network that
We have a
shared
couple
drive.
drives that
We
are
only
accessible, but nothing that every department has access to.
Gotcha. So do you see the value in the another 5,400 annually versus just getting like a server that would have access with drives where people could upload and load their own files on, which would be a fraction of that cost?
I think so, because it's not just for access, it's to put in retention policies and it'll keep track of when contracts are up, and we can assign rules and everything to all of that, so.
And I forgot about the retention part, like they'll help us set up those retention rules. And to do a lot of things automatically. And frankly, our physical server quotes we've seen are pretty comparable. I mean, so I don't think, yeah. So we'll have those physical servers in place in different buildings, and we have Carbonite backup. This is a different way of managing documents that is a very important part of the clerk's job of being the caretaker of city documents.
Well, on that note, I was kind of worried about the security of it, but it's backed up by business at Bishop Business, and they are just right in Nebraska and Kansas, correct? Or did I get that wrong? They have their locations as all in Nebraska and then
I was
Lawrence,
gonna
Kansas.
say, the gal we deal with is out of Omaha, I believe, so.
Yeah, there was one in there, yeah, but it's not a national, it's not like a company in China, you know, or something like that, it's pretty local. Sorry. No, I was kind of concerned about that.
that would be too, yeah.
Any more questions? Do you need a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second. Amanda?
Shepherd? Yes. Postier?
Yes.
Wilkinson?
Yes.
Van Esch?
Yes.
Piper?
Yes.
McGregor?
Yes.
Next up, we have consider approval of an agreement with Flock Group, Inc. for Flock LPR cameras for the police department in the amount of $49,799. Chief Jaden.
This is an item that came to you folks and was approved in the budget discussion. This is that lease agreement for cameras with Flock Safety. The primary function of these cameras is LPR means license. It's an automatic license plate reader system. The real value of the Flock system is the network. So they have these in Kearney, Grand Island, there's some in the Lincoln area. They're all across the nation. They're getting now agreements with retail outlets as well. So a lot of Lowe's stores across the country have them. So what that network allows is, because it's a secure cloud closed network that's only available for Flock and their users, all the information about the license plates that are read is kept for 30 days and then automatically deleted unless we have an evidentiary reason to pull it and keep it. And we have access to it for 30 days. So that sets up alerts like Amber Alerts, Silver Alerts, stolen vehicles, and also, like right now, we have an intel sharing that goes through the state. Like we'll get what's called a NIAC bulletin. I don't know what the acronym stands for, but it's Criminal Intelligence Network that the State Patrol is a part of. And we'll get those bulletins about every other day, and it'll say this group came in and did a quick change scam or a stolen ATM in Colorado or Kansas. And we get it because we're a neighboring state, and we get the license plate information and some surveillance photos, and that's all we get. Then we can kind of keep an eye out for it. But tracking all that information, as you can imagine, I mean, sometimes there's 20 items on that bulletin. What happens with the Flock network is those plates will get put in there, and we'll get a ping. So if those people come into our community, that automatically comes in. It'll ping their license plate and alert our officers automatically right through their MDTs in the cars that, hey, this car's in your community. That's all it tells them. There's no privacy issues or anything like that, because all it's telling you is that that vehicle has come in. All the cameras are placed over public roadways, so there's no expectation of privacy, and it doesn't dig any deeper than that. It just tells you about the presence of. and then we go do all the actual police work with it. So we still rely on our officers and our training and our discretion to be able to go in and do with that what we decide. But if I say, you know, I have a license plate that was involved in something here, or I have an older person who's gone missing, but it doesn't meet the criteria for a silver alert, I can go into the Flock system and flag that person's license plate and put the criteria in of why we flagged it, and that will go out across the network. So if that person has wandered into Grand Island, Kearney, or gone somewhere and not told caretaker or whoever, that will ping in the network as well. So the value of Flock really lies in that network. This number, the $49,000, I acknowledge that sounds like a very big number. I acknowledge that, but new technology is growing every day, and the capability of this system is pretty extraordinary in my opinion. We'll get for that price, we will get 12 cameras, and 4 of them will be upgraded with live camera feed. That will also have some AI built into it. Now again, no privacy issues there. It does not do facial recognition. It's all about vehicles. But the camera adds the ability to go back and say, okay, there was a ping here, and we had a burglary nearby. Let's go back and look at, somebody just gave a description of Ed Jaden's vehicle, and there was a sticker on the back of it. The camera has AI to the ability, it will flag the sticker on the back of the car, so we can go in and search by that. So I can go punch in blue Ford pickup, cracked windshield, red sticker of some kind on the back bumper, and it will search for us. And again, this is all based on public roadways, where there's no expectation of privacy. So, and they're not doing facial recognition or any of that stuff right now. So they're not really crossing into that next threshold where people have pretty serious privacy concerns. That gets us, again, the 12 cameras, and 4 of them are upgraded. Those 12 cameras will be positioned on Highway 81, Highway 34, 4th Street, Lincoln, Grant, 25th, all the major inlets into town. Because the primary function is to let us know what vehicles are coming into our community. And then the live feed, video feed upgrade. It's live and recorded, of course. The video upgrade on those 4 cameras will be in strategic areas, like where South Lincoln comes into town off of the bypass. That stretch there, we put a camera there so that will allow us to see, because the LPR will only pick up one direction of lanes. So what we can do is cover a bigger area with the camera, so we can get the license plate of everybody coming into our community. But if we want to know if they've left, the camera will catch that because it has a wider range. So what we've done is taken collated these two abilities of camera and LPR, and really stretched the network as far as we can. There's permitting involved with cameras like this to put them on poles. You have to get a permit with DOT anytime you want to put something at the side of the road. Flock does that for us. And it is a lease program, so that means that as upgrades come, or we have problems, or even they're broke, they come in and just take care of all that. It's based on a cell phone type, a Ford an LTE system that's standalone just for Flock, so they very rarely go down. They're all solar powered, so there won't be any financial drain for the city beyond what we pay for the system.
Is this yearly?
Yes, ma'am. That's a per camera cost per year.
I was looking at, in the budget, you had estimated about $3,000 per year. So is there extra? Because that'd be about $36,000 for 12 cameras. Is that
So it was estimated at $3,000 per camera, and then you pay an extra $500 for the video upgrade. And that originally, I had money extra set aside for poles, because if you don't have a pole, Flock will sell you one and install it for you. And then also for the licensing and the permitting and all those things. When we got to a point where we got to, I think it was 10 cameras, that's where they said, you know what, if you buy at least 10 or lease at least 10 from us, we'll take care of all those costs. So then we were able to expand, and it was I spent up to the $50,000 that was budgeted.
Yeah, but if we would get more cameras, if they're $3,000 to $3,500 a piece, that means $36,000 instead of $50,000. So there are other costs hidden in
So
there?
it was estimated at $3,000. Their costs went up last year.
Okay.
So it went up to, I can't remember what it was. And then there was the camera fee, the upgrade fee. So, but I would certainly, before we sign off, I would double check that. I apologize.
No, I'm just thinking,
No,
we can get more for that.
Exactly.
They're like, you're talking 2,000 there, so you're looking at $38,000 8,000 for 3,000 plus 500.
Sure, where the rest go,
Where
yeah,
the rest
absolutely,
go.
yes.
So-
Yes, clearly I need to double check the numbers before I sign it.
And then as far as like, since it is a lease, costs for long-term, for maintenance, things are down, are we billed for that, or is that all included in this price, all maintenance, then replacing cameras? Any of
That is
kind of
all
stuff?
included in the price and year to year, so if we chose to renew and go again next year, as newer cameras come, they automatically upgrade them. We don't ever pay more for, this camera's here or that. They have other technologies they're getting to that they would love to sell us, I'm sure. At the recent conference I was at, they had drones running and everything else, so of course that would entail more cost, but these cameras are set at this contract price and there's no maintenance or anything like that. And if this one gets outdated and we need to replace 3, they come in and do that.
But you're pretty confident 12 is probably gonna cover us pretty good.
12 covered us really well, it really did. Like I said, that covered all of the main roads coming into town, and that was the goal. We didn't want to have any gaps where, if you're gonna try and keep track of who's coming into your community, you want to hit all the main roads that lead in. So we looked at commercial traffic and all that other stuff, because again, we're not just talking about looking for bad people that are coming into our community. Again, this is Amber Alerts, Silver Alerts. There have been several success stories out of Kearney and Grand Island just in the last year of locating lost children and things, and those kind of situations as well, so.
Can you also utilize this in accidents? Say,
We can,
Like a David
for
Driver.
some cause-effect stuff there. Again, so what it's pulling is objective data. It's just saying, this vehicle was present on this road. That's what it tells us. What is amazing when you get into the system and start looking through it like we did with the demo and getting in there and playing with it, they set up kind of a sandbox and let you get in there and play with it. How valuable that information is. You kind of forget, because as police officers, we're always 4 steps down the line with the investigation, but that basic information is what's key. We've had 3 burglaries in this area of downtown. Those are always really challenging, or even a string of vandalisms downtown. We're always very challenged by that. We know that it happened between 2 and 6 a.m. None of our officers really logged any plates or anything at that time. Well, if we had a camera that was there that logged every single person that drove, that at least gives us a really good starting point.
Just to clarify, the data it's storing is just a picture of the plate or a picture of the car, or is it actually a video feed of that car moving?
So the upgrade gives you the video feed.
The video feed.
And then the LPR, the regular LPR cameras just grabs the data of the license plate.
Right, okay. So you could go back and use it for more investigative work?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Gotcha. That's what I was curious. So that could be an extra additional.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Worth the money.
Yeah, somebody calls us and say, 10 days ago, I didn't realize it till now, but I've got a backhoe that has been vandalized and it's 20 grand.
Right.
Well, we can go find out who was in the area and just start narrowing it down based on, it's a piece of intel, but it's a very valuable and foundational piece of intel.
I imagine once this gets implemented, are you able to gather data and come back, because obviously for a 12-month contract, look at this for next year and then future contract years to show
Yes.
the viability of this, especially if we need that more, or if this is working. Because not just this, but in general, we're having a lot of subscription-based things like anything in society.
Yes.
So I would really like, I think, as a city as a whole, to see all of these subscriptions, what we're spending them on, the value, are they still valuable as they were when they first started? Are there things we no longer need to be subscribing to?
The utilization piece, that reporting function would be something that would be very easy and very, very detailed to pull out of their software. It plugs it all in and analyzes it all, and you can go in and search from all different manner of parameters and different things. So it shouldn't be very hard at all to get a report at the end of the first year and say, okay, we did this many criminal cases, this many non-criminal cases, we pulled this much data, and certainly that's where we can make those hard decisions about, this one on such and such street, you just didn't utilize it very much. Well, then let's not pay for it.
Or move it somewhere else?
Absolutely, or relocate it. Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, a lot of times in theft, probably speaking from a little experience, but you never get that.
What kind of experience?
Being robbed. At least that's what I'm saying now. No, but if you never get that property back, you've got a big loss there, whereas if you had quicker information and could actually do that for the taxpayers, as well as getting their property back.
Well, and that's, going back to like when I was talking about like those NIAC bulletins, we had that stuff. We had one of those, it's been a couple of years back now, we had one of those,
18-wheelers full of meat that we actually recovered here in New York.
Yeah,
That was,
big.
and that was, you know, several $100,000 worth of product that a company lost. And not to mention, I mean, the cargo of frozen meat was worth twice as much as the actual truck and trailer. You know, and we have those cases because of the interstate. You know, we get those things in our community, and if that had been entered in somewhere as a stolen vehicle, it would have pinged the minute they came into town.
Will that just be the city proper, or will it be able to gather stuff on the interstate or tie into anything going down the interstate?
We kept it city proper.
City proper.
Just kind of pulled up our jurisdiction map, and I really wanted to keep it to that, but certainly that's a discussion we can have about putting them somewhere else. The other thing is that because other jurisdictions have them near the interstate or on the interstate, and once we get into the network, we can really pull off of that. So if the state patrol or a sheriff's office or anybody has one out there, we'll see that data as it comes towards us anyway. So we'll be able to see, they were Kearney, they were at Grand Island, ping, must be going to Starbucks. Let's send somebody out there and just make sure that everything's okay. Or if it's, you know, if it's a stolen vehicle or something like that, you know, certainly go and address it, so.
The more you're using these things for, wouldn't there be federal grants and stuff to look for to, you know, to help pay for additional stuff down the road as well, or not?
I've been looking, and with grants, it's always a
Well, like now, probably not the right time.
yeah, that's been the challenge most recently, but a lot of technology grants from the federal government are for larger jurisdictions that want to take on a research project and be a pilot program, and jurisdiction like ours doesn't have the utilization they're looking for. You know, they want to put it out there, and you know, they want to go to Chicago or LA and put out 12,000 cameras and see how it goes,
Yeah,
which is great, but
Big data.
not what we need, so.
Any more questions?
Mr. President, Council, I want to affirm that the recommendation of the police chief that it is in the best interest of the city to purchase this system from Flock Group, because the network is such an important part of the value of the service. So it is my recommendation, it's in the best interest of the city to purchase from this vendor and not put this project out for a public bid.
Thank you, Dr. Crawford.
I don't know, just to support that, the reason for that is there's only one other vendor with any presence at all in the state of Nebraska, and their network is less than 1/20th of what Flock's is, or even less. And their software, I haven't done a full demo, but I've been able to log in and kind of look over someone's shoulder, and the analytics are in there, but it just wasn't as easy to pull out. And I don't have time to train every cop to be an analyst too, so the interface is pretty important, but mostly it's that network. There's just, I don't know how many thousand cameras, their website changes every day, but if you just Google how many Flock cameras there are in the United States, that whole network is available to us. And the competitor just isn't even close.
Very good. Any more comments, questions? If not, we need a motion for approval.
I move for approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Amanda?
Shepherd.
Yes.
Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
McGregor.
Yes.
Next up is to consider approval of a quote from York Equipment for a Bobcat track loader for the street department in the amount of $37,269.
Okay, so I don't know if you remember from our budget conversation, what was important for the street department is to get this track kind of loader, which it causes less damage than the previous Bobcat. So I'm sorry that Public Works Director had to be out. I believe that this is also the result of a trade-in. He just told me it is $2,000 over what we had expected to pay for this, but he's confident that we can gain that $2,000 in some other way in this budget.
Very good. Thank you. What's your pleasure, council?
Well, one thing I like is the fact that we're doing business local, one, and then second of all, that we're actually trading in the old one in time to get some value back out of it, the $36,000 that we were getting in trade-in, instead of waiting until it's absolutely worthless. So I move for approval.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Amanda?
Shepherd.
Yes.
Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Banish.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
McGregor.
Yes.
That brings us to consider approval for task order 46 for the YASPWA fiscal year 25-26 annual engineering services with HDR Engineering in the amount of $200,000.
Yes, so this $200,000 is $100,000 that is in this budgeted as capital for engineering work on the next cell, and $100,000 that is general engineering. So HDR is our engineer for YASWA, and they have been with us for several years, and they just helped us build the last cell and do our annual analysis, and you would have seen them come and do our cost analysis too for rates. So they're very engaged, and we have found them to be a very valuable partner. So again, this is in the budget. 100 is general engineering and 100,000 is in the capital engineering budget. And I believe it is in the city's best interest to continue to work with HDR Engineering on the Oswald projects.
Do we have any idea how many cells we have available out there for future expansion, or is that going to be part of what they'll help engineer?
They know that answer, but I do not.
Oh.
Yeah, they've told us. We'll be dead. Oh, some of
I
us.
don't know, so those are
Right. So, unfortunately, the reality is, as you start cells, the first ones you have to build more quickly, and then you can build the next ones more slowly. So it is true that we had to pay for one relatively recently, and then this one's going to come pretty soon. And something about the way you pile trash, the first ones have to come more quickly.
And if I remember, I think it was like 8 years is all they were estimating the first cell to last.
Right.
Then,
And
so
then,
much trash.
but it will be still of use when the other cells come, because they're kind of connected. That's my technical answer.
Landfill.
Well, the hailstorm didn't help. Well, debris.
Any more questions or comments?
I move for approval.
Second.
Amanda?
Shepherd.
Yes.
Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Banish.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
McGregor.
Yes.
Next up is to consider approval of Resolution 2025-24 to continue the deferment of paving district number 06-1 for attractive land comprising a part of Lot 3, Seidel's Addition.
So Charlie can help if if you need further clarification. It is the case that ag land is able to get deferments when there are paving assessments. So paving assessment is the people who own the property where the paving is happening help to pay for that paving. And there is an ag property exception that is tied to the owner. When a new owner comes, they have to ask for that deferral. And that is the case here. So to approve this is retaining the status quo of this ag land, not being charged that paving assessment.
Right. You've got to find that it's in an ag zone and it's used exclusively for ag use. It's my understanding that it is. If you make those findings, then they're entitled to the deferral by statute.
So I guess it's not really a choice.
Right.
If they were to change it, develop it at that point, does that, meaning if they're developing in the ag zone, does it change when they change the zoning, or?
If we change the zoning, that ends the deferral.
That does.
Yeah. Or if they change ownership and the new owner doesn't request a continued deferral, or if the existing owner decides to go ahead and pay off the assessment, which probably isn't very likely, but that could end the deferral also.
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess my question was on the deferral, so it's not like they're gonna put a house there and not put sidewalks and things in. If they would do that, then they do have to, because we would have to change the zoning, right?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
No, it can still have a house and still be in the ag
Still
zone.
be in it,
Yeah. So,
But if they were to build the house, then they lose the deferral, because it's not exclusively used for ag at that point.
Well, you can still have a house in farm ground,
Gotcha.
you know, so.
Any more questions or comments? Seeing none, we need a motion for approval of the resolution.
Move for approval.
Second. Amanda?
Shepherd.
Yes.
Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
McGregor.
Yes.
And now we'd like to consider approval of Resolution 25-25 to adopt and approve a fine waiver schedule for city ordinance violations.
I'd like to turn the floor to Charlie, our
Okay,
attorney.
what this is just to give you a little idea of what the process is. When people are charged with misdemeanor offenses, whether it's a violation of a state statute or a village or city ordinance within your county, they're issued citations, and everyone within, say, a 2-week period of time is then ordered on the citation to appear in county court to answer to the charge. And they go through a formal, what's called arraignment process, where the judge reads their rights to them, tells them the charge, possible penalties, asks questions, eventually obtains a plea from the individual. So there's typically 20 to 30 people that show up in county court every Wednesday afternoon for these arraignment hearings. It's become pretty congested. So the county judge asked me to adopt a waiver schedule for offenses that we commonly see for city ordinance violations: dog running at large, unlicensed dog, parking, citations, those kinds of things. Offenses that are not serious in nature, that are very common. They can be allowed to simply go to the county court counter, sign a written plea of guilty, pay whatever the designated fine is, and not have to go through the formal court hearing process. The judge would like to reduce the number of people that have to go through court to reduce the congestion. And frankly, it makes it easier on people too, not to have to sit there and go through all that if there's this simplified process. So what we've done is we've developed a schedule of offenses that are common offenses that the police cite people for ordinance violations, put on there the typical fines, and that waiver schedule is attached to the resolution. If you approve that, then it goes to the county judges of this district. They then approve it. It gets sent up to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court approves it. It comes back down. The court adopts it. So we're the kind of the first step in that whole process. So it's just designed to simplify things and make it a little easier to process people's cases.
And just another question, should the ordinance change to change the fine levels, that is fine, we just would submit a new schedule?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. If we decide to change, say, parking tickets now carry a standard $10 fine. If we decided to increase that to 20, then we just amend that on the waiver schedule. So.
Do they still pay the fine in county court? Or is it on city?
No, they pay the fine at the court, and actually, in addition to the fine, they are assessed court costs. Those costs are assessed regardless of whether they go through the formal hearing or not. A lot of times those costs greatly exceed the amount of the fine. They run typically about $50 unless there's sheriff's service, then it's another $20. So you can have, a parking violation with a $10 fine, $70 in court costs. So.
But they're just gonna save time.
They're gonna save some time.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is valuable too.
Yeah.
But they still have the option to have the court hearing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just an option, is all it provides.
So this is probably common in growing areas?
Well, yeah, we used to have waivers for our ordinance violations, but we hadn't formally adopted them. The court now requires that we formally adopt them in order to allow us to waive city ordinance violations. The county has a waiver schedule for state statute misdemeanors. That's already in place, so that covers all the people that are cited for state law violations. We typically have maybe 2 to 4 people each week on city ordinance violations. So, you know, we don't have a lot, but we've got a few every week.
Is there a reason we're not, I see a lot of the dog stuff mentioned, is there not a reason we can do the same thing with the cats, like having an excessive number of cats past our ordinance?
Well, the reason we don't have the excessive number violation on there, and we don't have a number of other violations on there as well, because some of these are important for the judge to look at and actually have the person in court. A lot of times what we'll do, like if you've got an excessive number of dogs or cats, or if you've got a nuisance violation, the judge will set off sentencing to see if the person corrects the problem before they're actually sentenced. And if you do that on a waiver schedule, there's no opportunity for the judge to review it.
But we do have excessive dogs, we just don't have excessive cats on here. Is there a reason?
Yeah, I didn't know that we had excessive dogs.
Yeah, it
we
says
do.
harboring excessive dogs and harboring unlicensed dogs, but it doesn't have that for cats
I
on
don't
there.
think that the ordinance addresses cats. I think it just addresses dogs. doesn't
It does, I think
I
it's
think-
it does. You're right, it
Yeah,
does.
I think it does. Yeah, that's a good point. We should probably add that.
Yeah.
Probably should add that. Yeah, I don't know why we wouldn't have cats as well on there. I mean, we hardly ever see
Right.
cats being cited, but
Right. Yeah.
potentially.
Can that be an amendment?
Yeah,
legally?
we can just add that. So we can make a motion to approve it, subject to revising the waiver schedule to include cats as well as dogs.
Can the city itself be charged for harboring excessive raccoons?
Ask Ed. That's an Ed question.
Don't start that rumor again.
One question I had was, so the parking ticket on here, so if somebody's on our residential streets and they do exceed the however many hours and they get a parking ticket, they have to take that to court right now?
No.
No.
The way it
So
works is
Parking ticket on
they're issued citations, put right on the car.
Right.
And the citation gives them a certain number of days to pay it to the police department. If they don't pay it to the police department, they turn it over to our office. We send out a letter to the person, give them 10 days to pay, tell them right in the letter, if you don't pay it, you'll be cited to go to court. It's only people that ignore both the citation and our letter that get filed on.
Okay, perfect, because I was like, I got a parking ticket one time and I thought I just went to the police station.
Good for you.
You're one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Snow.
Right.
Didn't get my vehicle.
Model citizen.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions or comments on the resolution? Seeing none, so we would need a motion to approve the resolution with that change.
I move for approval of resolution 2025-25 with the change of adding excessive cats
And unlicensed cats.
and unlicensed cats.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Amanda?
Shepherd.
Yes.
Postier.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Van Esch.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
McGregor.
Yes.
And now I'm going to read you a letter from Councilwoman Northrop. Dear Mayor Redfern, York City Council, and York citizens, I'm writing this in sadness. Due to my ongoing health issues and frequent absences from council meetings, I have made the decision to resign my position as a member of the York City Council. I was honored to be elected to serve, and I hope I represented you well in my tenure. I trust the mayor will appoint someone who will represent you well. Sincerely submitted, Vicki Northrop.
By law, that has to be accepted by the council in order for it to be effective. So someone has to move to accept the resignation.
I would like to make one comment here before we do that. And so on behalf of Mayor Redfern and our fellow council members, we accept Councilwoman Northrop's resignation with heavy hearts. We would like to thank Councilwoman Northrop for her dedication and tireless service to her constituents through the past years, representing the people of York who reached out to her and providing them with a strong voice until recent health challenges took that ability away from her. Vicky, we all wish you the best, and we'll continue to keep you and your entire family in our thoughts and prayers as you continue to live day to day with these challenges. So with that, I would make the motion to accept the resignation.
Second.
Amanda?
Shepherd,
Yes.
Postier,
Yes.
Wilkinson,
Yes.
Van Esch,
Yes.
Piper,
Yes.
McGregor.
Yes.
And that brings us to the end of the agenda. We are adjourned.